Hey guys, the jump scare was discovered a few weeks ago, and Slick and I have been analyzing video to see what exactly triggers it. I was like, there's all these different things people are saying to do, and I wanted to know exactly what it takes. Oftentimes when we don't know the exact steps, it gets a little complicated and we kind of overdo it, and the Easter egg step itself and what is required is actually pretty simple, and this is the same kind of scenario. And I'll show you guys how to trigger this jump scare every time. So make sure you have a sniper out of the box. That's all you need, and I would probably go ahead and turn on power just to get that covered, but you don't have to do anything else. You do not have to do hallucinations or have any wonder weapons built or anything. I think originally a lot of us had thought that you had to look at all the tanks to trigger it, and you don't. There's only one tank that will trigger this jump scare, and it is always the same one, and it is this one right here on the end. I had seen some video footage where somebody accidentally triggered it by just looking at these two tanks on the end, so we just worked on those and figured out, yeah, it's always this one right here. And the way me and Slick get this to trigger every time is one person will stand right here in the middle of the room, exactly in this position, and look at that tank, and then the other person will hold a zombie outside in front of the bunker. You can only do this with a minimum of 2 people, and it just works really good for us when one person just stays completely out of the bunker and just kind of hangs out and holds a zombie or a crawler. So to recap, you need a sniper, turn on the power, come to this position here in the room, have one person hold a zombie outside of the bunker, and then scope in on this tank. The actual trigger point is dead center of this tank. So what I do is I center between those 2 gauges, and then I just slowly look all the way up and down, and it's right around this area right here where the trigger is. So what I do is just kind of go up and then down a little bit. I'll maybe look at his eyes or his nose, and then I'll go back and forth across the center where you see those knobs on the outside of the tank. And you don't have to look at this guy inside the tank for any amount of time. If you just hit that trigger point, you're going to eventually trigger the jump scare. You don't have to look at him for 20 seconds or 30 seconds or anything like that. The reason for doing this method is to make sure you do hit that trigger spot. Once you feel like you've covered all those areas, what I do is I just start spinning. And for some reason, turning can help trigger him. So right here, I just start doing 360s, and he does show up. And yeah, this is Slick being duplicated here. And here's third person. You can see me spinning, and then he's just gonna pop up right there. If you feel like you've done a really good job of scoping in and hitting that area that I showed you and triggering it, and you're spinning and you don't see him, he could be behind one of those tanks. And I've seen him a lot behind that one right there, that middle one, and I'm like, he's not here. And then I go over there and yeah, he's behind the tank. Also, if you're the one trying to do the jump scare and you end up cloning your friend that's in the game with you, they're not going to be able to see that clone of themselves unless somebody throws a widow's wine grenade on it. So that's a nice trick, and you can be the one to throw it or anybody else in the game, and then the jump scare will pop up and you guys can both see it animated and happening. Another thing to know about this is that you can do this every round, and only once a round can you trigger the jump scare. So I did this on round 7 and 8, and I won't be able to do it on 9, but Slick can go in and do it on 9 and 10. So it's you can do it once per round, but only 2 rounds in a row. So we were up to 12 jump scares, just doing it every round. There doesn't seem to be any limit to this. And I'm not sure if I made that clear enough. So basically, I triggered the jump scare on round 7 and 8. Then I couldn't do it anymore, but Slick could come in and trigger it on 9 and 10. Then I would come in on 11 and 12 and trigger it on those rounds. Then he could come in on 13, 14, and you can see how we just alternate back and forth. So I just finished my 2 rounds, and now it's round 10. So Slick's going to come in, and I'm holding a crawler outside of the bunker, in front of it. He's going to stand in position and just look at the center of that tank and look all around that guy's center, chest, neck, and eyes and nose area. Then he's going to spin in circles, and the jump scare clone will pop up about 10 to 15 feet in a radius around you where you're spinning. All these steps that I explained will get you the jump scare, but just know that there is a randomization about when he shows up. So you don't really know when you hit that trigger because it's somewhere in the center of that tank. So based on when you hit that trigger, he's going to show up in 30 seconds or he could show up in 10 minutes. So just be very patient. You will get him. And if you're spinning and you don't see him, just scope back in on the tank and do it again, kind of look at his face and stuff like that. But I promise you, you will get him if you do these steps. Also, when you do get the jump scare to spawn in and then you don't actually trigger him to scare you, and say you just leave him standing there and you leave the area and go far away, he will disappear. And for some reason, that glitched him out for us and we could never get him back that game. We wanted to see what gumballs would work on him, so we tried all of them, and the only one that really worked was killing time. So we've got it triggered right here, and Slick went to jump on his back, and it shoved him underneath the map, and it freezes him for just a little bit, but then eventually he does turn around and scare you. Slick and I had a lot of fun getting this worked out, and I know know a lot of people have been wanting to try the jump scare, but it's been difficult. Hopefully this will make it a lot easier, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video. For those of you that have ordered the giant zombie themed t-shirt, we are shipping daily. I just got mine in the mail right here, and that's the tracking that you can see on the website. It shows when you order and tracks it all the way to delivery. So definitely be expecting those, and these shirts will be available until June 19th. So if you guys want to check out the shirt and check out the website, those links will be down in the description.